All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Minnesota Vikings in tonight's video. They are now 11-2. They are undisputably a top 5 team in the National Football League, especially record-wise. But that was on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. Captain Kirk Cousins makes his return to Minneapolis. That was their 6th straight victory, putting them just one win away from clinching a playoff spot. The defense looks phenomenal. They have 20 picks on the year. That's number 1 in the NFL. Their offense looks phenomenal. Sam Darnold just had a career day, thrown for 5 total touchdowns, no interceptions, and almost 350 yards. And I don't know, man. The whole media world after that game today and yesterday has been, is it time to bench Kirk Cousins? You know, is it time? A nice win for Minnesota, but is it time to bench Kirk Cousins for Michael Penix? And I'm kind of noticing this trend with the Minnesota Vikings where people know they're 11-2. They know they're 11-2. But for some reason, it's not good enough. I don't really understand it. It's just not good enough. And honestly, Philadelphia is kind of similar in the sense, but they get a lot more praise than this Minnesota Vikings team. And the reason I'm kind of saying all that right now is because I made a Vikings video a couple of days ago, and one of you guys left a comment saying, because I think in that video towards the end, I made a comment saying like, oh, I'm not telling you the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl, but anything can happen. And one guy commented, and it was something along the lines of, I think we're going to win the Super Bowl because who can't the Vikings beat? And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, he's 100,000% right. Their 2 losses on the season was a nail biter against the Detroit Lions, probably the best team in the NFL, who you'll play week 18. And their second loss was on a short week on the road against Matt Stafford and Los Angeles Rams. Like, the Vikings are 11-2. They're 11-2, all right? So welcome back to the channel. We just kind of ranted there here. We're obviously talking about the Minnesota Vikings in tonight's video, but before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Vikings fans, seriously, appreciate you guys so much. You always show so much love on these videos. Thank you so much. If we try and get this one to 300 likes, guys, that would mean the absolute world to me. So, technically, they did give up. The Vikings defense just gave up 496 yards. That was a season high. But Kirk Cousins had 0 touchdowns. He had 0 interceptions. Watching that game in full, I did know the final score because I was busy during the live game, but I knew the final score, but you watch it, and I just never really kind of got the feeling that Atlanta was going to win that football game. And then obviously the fourth quarter comes and Minnesota scores 21 unanswered points. But, one big catalyst for this Viking season, and folks, we go back to the summer. Kyrie Jackson tragically dies. Rest in peace. Jordan Addison, like a couple of days later, I think, gets arrested for DUI. J.J. McCarthy, a couple of weeks after that, goes down with the torn meniscus for the entire NFL season. And you knew the Vikings roster was good. Their defense had a lot of question marks in the sense of, all right, what's Grenard's role going to be? How good can he be? What, Van Ginkel, how good, can Blake Cashman and all these new additions do? Because they got rid of Danielle Hunter, and they're obviously going to regress. Well, folks, it's currently a borderline top 5 defense in the National Football League. But the big question was, Sam Darnold. We knew he was going to – we know Sam – if you watch football, Sam Darnold can play. And he's had plenty of good games in his NFL career. And when you get drafted to the Jets and then you go to Carolina and you're a quarterback, or honestly any position, typically the career starts off extremely shaky. But people knew Sam Darnold has talent. But what people didn't really think was probably an 11-2 season. Even if you're an extremely confident, extremely optimistic Vikings fan, 11-2, predicting any team in the NFL to be 11-2 through 13 games, it's just a reach. It's just a stretch. And so Sam's coming off his best game, probably in his entire NFL career, 22 of 28. 347 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. He got MVP chance as the game came to a close. In fact, in his last 4 games, Sam Darnold has thrown 11 total touchdowns without an interception. And even just to make more of an MVP case, because I was thinking about it before I made this video, I was like, can Sam Darnold actually win MVP? Should he be in the MVP, or he should be in the MVP conversation, but is there a legitimate chance he can win MVP? And I'm thinking, the Vikings are 11-2. Of course he can. And then I saw some of these statistics. On the season, Sam Darnold has the 3rd highest passer rating in the NFL behind only Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff. He has 1 yard shy of 3,000 300 passing yards. That's fifth in the National Football League. His completion percentage is seventh best in the National Football League, and his 28 passing touchdowns are third in the league. That 5-touchdown game, we said this on Sunday's Rapid Reaction, that was the first time a Vikings quarterback since Dante Culpepper did in 2004. But it wasn't even just that game. Sam Darnold had like 2 bad stretches, a 3-game bad stretch where he was just throwing interceptions. Right, on the season, he does have 10 total interceptions to 28 touchdowns. I'm going to take that any day of the week. But they have such a big-time playability. Sam Darnold on 20 or more yards thrown in the air. 27 completions, first in the NFL. 969 yards, first in the NFL. 7 touchdowns, tied for first in the NFL. Quarterbacks with the most completions, 10-plus yards beyond the sticks. Number 1, Sam Darnold at 34, and then there's the rest of the list. And I was going to get into kind of a rant about, Sam Darnold, and I'll just get this stat here because I saw this on The Athletic. Here's how much Sam Darnold struggled in the first 58 starts he made before signing with the Vikings in the summer. Only 3 of the 65 other quarterbacks making their first 58 starts since 2000 produced lower EPA per play over their career in that span. It was bad. And like I said, most of it, you got drafted by the Jets, you got traded to the Panthers. Like, you can only do so much with so little. But Darnold's having a phenomenal season. And you guys are also missing your stud left tackle. But we really saw the team effort. We saw a full 4-quarter complete game from the Minnesota Vikings. And notice, we're not even mentioning the defense in tonight's video because I think this defense is championship caliber. It's a championship caliber defense. But offensively, Justin Jefferson hadn't had a touchdown in like a month and a half. He just had 2. Jordan Addison got off to a slower start working himself back from injury at the beginning of the season. He just had 3 total touchdowns. But one big thing's been Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has been so versatile this season. He had a little bit of a fumble issue for a couple of games, but he just bounced back in huge form. 37 catches for 302 yards. He has 893 rushing yards. That's already his second best total since the year 2020 when he was with my Green Bay Packers. And he just had 13 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown, averaging 5.6 yards per carry. And you go all the way back to September, a big reason the Minnesota Vikings went over a month without losing a football game. Aaron Jones was doing a phenomenal job. He averaged 116 yards from scrimmage over the first 4 games, scoring 2 touchdowns. But from weeks 5 to 13, he averaged only 81 yards in 8 games with only 3 touchdowns. So the point is, Aaron Jones healthy, the confidence, the morale is back. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Jalen Naylor, Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, Sam Darnold. I mean, you have to take this team seriously, whether or not you want to believe it. All right. That's it for today. Kind of a rant ramble video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. And guys, give me your thoughts down below. How far do you really see this Vikings team going in the playoffs? We'll see you in a couple of days. Peace.